Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, hey, folks, sampler review series videos I do for the while. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie, this one might get weird. Not at all because of the item, but we'll get into it in a little bit. Folks, it's a super simple format, though. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm inside my truck. Whilst I'm doing that, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, remember super cool shirts? I like to highlight super cool shirt. Super cool shirt am I wearing today? Boom, it's my Cold Chamber shirt. Which, if you are not familiar with the 90s into 2000s new metal sensation Cold Chamber, well, that's on you. Okay, I don't even know. That's just, you just need to sort that shit out with your life, okay? But no, Cold Chamber, excellent band. They were one of the first bands to kind of help define the new metal sound and, that whole scene, with your Korn, your System of a Downs, Deftones, what have you. Although Deftones, I know they kind of excuse themselves from the new metal stuff to a certain extent. It's okay, Deftones. We still love you. But no, I really like Cold Chamber. They are one of those bands where it's a shame that I didn't get into them more when they were during their first run. Like, they were just a little bit too out of the stuff that I was into at the time. Like, and I was into, like, the new metal stuff. It's just, I never really heard that much about Cold Chamber. I would just see occasionally, like, maybe somebody wearing a shirt or something. Like, I never saw their stuff on MTV or, and it wasn't until, like, much later that I really got into them. And I ended up becoming a really big fan. I was fortunate enough I got to see them perform around the time I'm doing this, maybe like a month ago, something like that. I actually have videos from the live show that I was at. They're on this channel, just in case you're interested. But anyway, what am I reviewing for you folks? Why might this get weird? So here's the thing. What I'm reviewing for you is, boom, it's a Dunkin iced coffee for pre-made drink. This is the coffee cake muffin, specifically. You can see it. You can believe me. It's real. I promise you. Ha 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 ha. Now, I've been meaning to review this one for a while. They have like 3 flavors. I already reviewed like the cake batter one. I've tried to review this one, well, sort of, about 3 times. I keep buying it, putting it in my fridge, and then drinking it. So I do know what this tastes like and everything. Just, full disclosure. But that's not why this is going to potentially get weird. I'm hoping it's not going to get weird. Why it might get weird is because I have learned from doing these videos for long enough now that I need to give myself probably about a 3-hour window from the time I wake up to the time I do a review. Because if I don't, my head, even though I'm fairly present, is simply not that in it. And I'm not afforded that luxury today because I had to go out and do stuff. I only slept for about an hour and a half, and I did not have, it's only been like maybe 45 minutes or so since I woke up. So this could get squirrely. But anyway, let's try a drink. Oh. So at least I had the mental forethought to shake the damn thing up. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not fancy. I don't give a damn. All right, let's open it up. It has a wonderful coffee-like aroma. It's good. Am I getting a coffee cake kind of taste, though? Maybe a little bit. So, like I said, I've had this twice now, is what it rolls down to. Because like I said, I keep buying it, I keep intending to review it, and then what ends up happening is it's in my fridge and I end up drinking it. That happens more often than I'd like to admit with stuff I mean to review. But I did manage to do the cake batter one. Cake batter one definitely, I think it had a stronger resemblance to the flavor that it was trying to go for. But at the same time, cake batter is a pretty well established flavor, you know? So I think it's a little bit easier than going for coffee cake. Although obviously coffee cake has been around for quite a while at this point. But as a pastry into coffee drink, it's a little bit less prominent than your cake batter. It's definitely lighter than that one was. It's semi-sweet, you know. It's not. I wouldn't consider it like a dessert drink. You know, it's got some sweetness to it, but it does kind of taste like, you know, it's a coffee with some cream, some sugar, you know, and some mix-ins, but it doesn't taste like overly cartoonish. And there is definitely something to it, which I could say is somewhat mildly reminiscent of like a coffee cake kind of taste. It has like there's a hint of like a savoriness, like a butteriness kind of thing. Somewhat similar to the cake batter one, except with the cake batter is very direct, and it was very much, you know, buttery and kind of savory tasting with that. It was also very sweet. This is less sweet. It's less of those things. Those adjectives I used to describe it. What the fuck? Oh, okay. There's this car that's just going over there and driving around, and like, I'm in a parking lot, and there's this car that's driving around in like sort of weird circles and stuff, and I was like, are they fucking lost or something? Like, there's nothing they should be lost by. And then I noticed that the person behind the wheel is very young, and the person immediately in the seat next to him looks like his dad. And it's like, oh, okay, he's teaching him to drive. So good on him. That's, you know, that's the way you should, you know. I mean, it's not the way you should do it realistically. Like, that's actually a big point of contention I have with the way that we, here in the United States, the way that we deal with like our whole driving situation, learning to drive. If you compare it to like certain European nations where it's like, you know, you spend like 3 years learning how to drive and going through all types of situations that, you know, might occur. It's like, oh man, we're just so ill prepared. I hate that shit, man. I wish that I'd had like a much greater build up to, you know, my time learning to drive. I probably wouldn't have been so fucking anxiety ridden. But anyway, back to the review. I know, seriously, good on the guy and his kids and everything like that. If you have to, you should go out and help your kids before they get to like the test and stuff like that, and, you know, into the classes. That's what my dad did with me a little bit. It didn't go very well because he wasn't a very patient guy, and I wasn't a very good driver though. But anyway, yeah, as for the coffee cake muffin thing, it's okay. I think I like this one better than the cake one, but a big part of that is because the cake one is just a bit much. It has a lot going on. It's, like I said, it's very sweet. It's kind of it's not a hard to drink thing, but like, you kind of need to be in the mood for it, I guess I would say. Whereas with this one, it's a little bit more conventional. It's a little bit more close to a conventional coffee drink. So for me, it's easier to work with. And part of the reason why I decided to do this one, aside from the fact that I didn't want it in my fridge anymore because I would have drank the damn thing. I nearly did when I got home from work. Specifically is because I wanted something that was caffeinated, something that'll hopefully get the fog of war out of my head, you know, from taking my nap and everything. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. They say it's cinnamony. Is it cinnamony? Alright, sure. I'll give it to it. When I was talking about like the somewhat savory kind of thing, sure, I'll say that's cinnamon. Just very light cinnamon. You don't get like the burn or anything from it, you know. So, I mean, it's okay. I don't mind it. I appreciate that it exists. Even if it's not, I wouldn't consider it anything spectacular or amazing, but, you know, it's cool that it's around. 2 questions have to be asked, though. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Probably not, and kinda. I don't know. It's okay. I don't hate it by any stretch of the imagination, but nor do I find it particularly special or unique to the extent where I feel like I would want to go back to it anytime soon. You know, it's not a bad drink. Dunkin does good stuff, but it's just, it's very, it's okay. You know, it's a sweetened coffee beverage. And really the only thing that kind of makes it somewhat unique is, like the coffee cake kind of taste. Again, kinda-ish. Cinnamon-y-ish. I don't know. But it's not bad. I personally don't think I would get it again. Even though I bought it 3 times now. Conversely, if I were recommending it to somebody, like, it's worth a shot. You know, I think, again, I don't feel like it's a dessert drink. I feel like it's something you can pick up and drink as a coffee beverage. It's not overly sweet or anything like that. I think if you already enjoy Dunkin' coffee, there's no reason to not. If you are into more artisanal stuff, well, you're probably not going to be into it. But, you know, as a casual drink, I think it's fine. Anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest week. Monument to amongst your pendants. Here, folks, you can go in there and have yourselves a truly not sleepy, brand-tastic rest of your life. I can definitely still feel it. Like, I'm fully awake. Fully awake. I could go over there. I could box. I could go over there. I could do my ABCs. I could do the whole thing. I'm awake. But there's definitely still systems clicking on. Starting to go. Oh, man. It's like a fucking Super Sentai show opening in my head, right? Where it's just like, everything has to come together, and, you know, like, they have to go over there and do the poses, and then they have to get the Megazord together. It takes a little time, folks. And then you got, you know, the Titanosaurus configuration. It's a whole involved process. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. So always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do can't do all the time. I know I can't do all the time. Here's what you do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole, though to be fair, it does help sometimes to be a little bit wacky because you didn't get a lot of sleep. Don't do that, by the way. Get proper rest. It's important. I say that as though I do it, and I definitely fucking don't. But it is important, you know, when we run into situations in our life that are stressful, frustrating, etc. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholeness in our lives. Hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks. Do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, here's what I want you to go out and do. You know, my demographic, according to the YouTubes, is typically people around my age. So, you know, I'm just turned 37. So, you know, that kind of range. I'm at the point now where a lot of people around my age starting to have kids that are getting a little bit older. You know, not old, but, you know, we're all getting older, folks. Here's what I want you to do. Go over there if you've got the time and inclination. If you've got a kid that, you know, in the next few years is going to be, you know, getting ready to drive and stuff like that, first of all, do whatever you can to go over there and properly prepare them. Don't bullshit it. Like, really go over there and do it. Sign them up for a tutor or some shit, you know, like, before they ever get near the fucking school stuff. Get them into some kind of something, even if it's just you taking them out, because I promise you're going to get better results. And ideally, even though I don't think we're going to fucking see it in my lifetime, ideally, we need to go over there and fucking revamp the way that we approach, like, driver's ed in America. We need to. And I know that's like a hard ask because, you know, people are used to doing it a certain way, and once you do that, it has to be that way forever. But we need to do so much better. We really do. I just think about the amount of accidents that we could reduce. Think about, especially for first-time drivers, because what happens, right? When's like statistically the time you're most likely to have an accident within your first 6 months of driving? That's what happened to me. It's when I had my accident. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, you know. But you know. Anyway, bye.